After a chilling trip on the Orient Express, Poirot's talents are called upon to investigate a tragedy on the River Nile. This is my review of Death on the Nile. Poirot's Egyptian vacation aboard a glamorous river steamer turns into a terrifying search for a murderer when a picture-perfect couple's idyllic honeymoon is tragically cut short. But before I properly get started with my review for Death on the Nile, let me know your thoughts on it, your thoughts on Branagh's previous Agatha Christie adaptation. Just start the conversation in the comments below, because that's the most important part. And if you like movies and TV, this is the place to be, so consider clicking that subscribe button so you don't miss any future conversation on your favorite movies and TV. I like Branagh's Murder on the Orient Express more than most people. That film is great to me. So for the past few years, I was naturally very excited and very curious to see his take on the next Agatha Christie mystery. Purposefully stayed away from any of the previous adaptations from the original story, so I wouldn't know who murders, who gets murdered, anything at all. And to my surprise, Death on the Nile is actually a more personal, intimate look at Poirot. While in Murder, we got brief glimpses at what motivated him from his past in a film that was thematically an examination on grief. This film dives much more into who he is, what motivates him, and why. It's an earnest look at the man behind the detective. And while the glorious mustache that Branagh sports takes center stage and is more glorious than ever, his performance keeps on being earnest. He is as charming and delightful, but ultimately, as we see in this film, more flawed than we ever saw him before. And so he brings his A game both in front and behind the camera, because not only is he great at performing on this role, but behind the camera he is fantastic, because not only does he give a great performance, but everyone else is just great here. He puts together once more an eclectic, sensual, and great looking cast that includes Gal Gadot, Letitia Wright, Emma Mackey, Sophie Okonedo, Russell Brand, many others, including the elephant in the room, Armie Hammer. But not only that, the way he tells the story, how this film is shot with lavish, gorgeous, sun-drenched cinematography. Some of the long takes and crane shots that they take in this film are just insane, in some of the most gorgeous locations you'll see in any film. Granted, some of them are on green screens, and sometimes you can tell they're on green screens, but nevertheless, the overall end result looks great. It's like you're immediately transported into the Nile, and these people look great going down a cruise on the Nile. I also love that once we get to the murder mystery, they make it so engaging, so entertaining, and even put in a little bit of camp. Some of the performances here are, like Branagh's, very earnest, very personable. You can tell what they're doing and you can feel emotionally connected to it. But then there are others that are so over the top in just the right moments, in just the right ways. Particularly Annette Bening, who is giving a great performance, just as great as you expect from her. But then she will chew up the scenery when you least expect it, and the film works all that much better because of it. Thematically speaking, I thought the film was also very strong. While Murder on the Orient Express is an examination on grief, this film is much more about love, the melancholic kind of love that Poirot feels for Catherine, the brand new, sensual, intense love of the bride and groom, played by Gal Gadot and Armie Hammer, and then the betrayal that sometimes comes with love, and that is most focused on when it comes to Emma Mackey. I think everyone just tackles these themes as a character in very interesting and different ways from one another. And given that this is a film about love, I should say that for a PG-13 film, this is a very intense, passionate film that has a ton of scenes of seduction. And whenever Armie Hammer jokingly bites the earlobe of Gal Gadot, it kind of makes you step back and kind of say, please don't do that, because now it's weird. But as intense as the romance is, as intense as the murder mystery is, sadly the film takes quite a bit to get to it. The biggest drawback with this film is that for the most part, I thought there was a little bit of murder mystery missing in this murder mystery. We don't properly get to the murder and therefore the intense investigation that follows until about 1 hour into this film. Because half the fun in these movies is that investigation once the murder takes place. So this film is literally missing half of the fun in that first hour. And because it is such a drastic change in intensity from the first hour to the second hour of this film, you can definitely feel that shift. It's almost jarring how much more intense and just overall better the film gets. The first hour just feels like it drags. It's completely fine, but there just isn't much going on the surface or below it. While the first hour of Death on the Nile fails to spark into life, once a murder takes place, it heats up and offers a delightfully intense, devilishly entertaining. The performances are fabulous, the themes resonant, and so while it feels overall uneven, it's that second hour that offers that elegance and sophistication a murder mystery directed by Kenneth Branagh is capable of. I'm giving Death on the Nile a B-. Those are my thoughts on Death on the Nile. I want to know what you thought of it, anything and everything down there. How do you rank the adaptations of this Christie story? Just drop it down there and start the conversation. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you to my channel members Bruna and Stuart for making this video possible. And there's a link below for you to see if you want to become a member. And again, if you like movies and TV, you like what you saw here, consider clicking that subscribe button so you don't miss any future conversations in your favorite movies and TV. I'll be back very soon with more reviews, and I hope to see you in those. So until the next one, love each other and love the movies.